Hey everyone, and on today's more laid back show, we're going to go through a question I posted on the YouTube channel, which you've given me answers to, your thoughts and ideas, and what you'd like to see for Bond 26. And that's happening right now. On the YouTube channel, I recently posted a question. Hi, I'm going to do a video on people's thoughts and theories and crazy ideas for Bond 26. Want to hear your thoughts on it? Comment down below. And I had quite a few different comments on that little community post here, so I want to take this video a bit more of a laid back version of the Bond Geek episode as you're more accustomed to now, and just go through some of your own comments and thoughts and what I think about them. But before we get into that, can I ask everyone, if you haven't already, do give us a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to us here, and it helps us do so much more here on the Bond Geek channel and so many more things. But without further ado, let's go into some of the comments that you posted on this community tab. My theories are, Bond will be an established agent, maybe in his third or fourth year with a 00 status. Felix might not appear in Bond 26 due to the character's death in the created timeline being so recent, even if they are different timelines, but I could see him in Bond 27. Spectre hopefully will not appear in the next reboot for a long while. I do not want them to go back to the books and try to do book accurate adaptations, but I think there's a chance very loose adapted books such as Moonraker could finally be adapted properly a bit with some changes. Well, you know what, I actually sort of agree with a lot you've said there, and a lot of comments on this tab really brought up the fact that in this reboot we don't want Bond at the beginning of his career. It was great in Casino Royale and it was done superbly well, but I think, like me and a lot of you on this community tab, we agree that we want Bond back to being like a bit of a, he's been Bond now for about 3 or 4 years. He's not just right at the beginning of his career. We've known Bond mostly as a veteran, and we want to see Bond very much truly as a veteran. So a lot of people were saying that, and it is something I have to agree with. I think I want to draw on that first with like Felix Leiter and Spectre. Both of them, I feel, for me, I can understand where you're coming from, but I have the same sort of similar feeling to both of them, which is essentially this. If you bring back Felix Leiter and Spectre in the new reboot of Bond 26, that honestly for me, that's okay. Really happy with that. But don't just bring them back for the sake of bringing them back. Bring them back because, you know what, the story needs Felix Leiter, or this film is good, but if it was actually Spectre behind it, it would elevate it. That's my real main things I'd like to see if you're going to bring stuff like that back. And I also, on your third point about taking bits from the books that weren't very, very strongly adapted, I 100% agree with. I want to just draw your attention actually to Moonraker here, when you brought it up in your comment. In Moonraker, there's that lovely opening scene in the book where Bond is taken by M to his club to learn why Hugh Drax is basically cheating at bridge. You could so adapt that into more of a modern thing and have that the launch of a James Bond adventure without further ado. So yeah, I think it's an interesting choice here. Let's look at some more. I like to see them reboot classic villains that aren't Spectre, maybe like Jaws, the man with the golden gun, or any of the drug wars he faced. Do you know what? I sort of actually am okay with that. I did a video way back in the first year ever I did YouTube, and I did about could you reboot old Bond villains, and to be fair, I think it could work. There's been so much time now between some of the great classics that you could really do, I think, something new and different. So if they said to me, just by the way, hypothetical, no insider knowledge absolutely at all, if they said, right, Bond 26, we're going to bring back Francisco Scaramanga, like you just said in your comment there, a new interpretation of the Man with the Golden Gun. Wouldn't be called the Man with the Golden Gun, the film, but it would just have Scaramanga in. I'd be okay with that. I think that could be potentially something of interest. So, yeah, you know what? It's a rebooted timeline. We've had a rebooted Blofeld. Yeah, why not in another rebooted timeline do some of the old villains that maybe they weren't the best, but you can give them a new lease of life. Heck, I've said it a million times on this channel. I'd love a new version, a better version of John Glover's Christatos. The movie starts with a new Bond, already a 00, stopping a terrorist attack at the King's coronation. Again, at the time I put this community tab post out, it was sort of, just after the King's coronation, a few weeks afterwards. And, King's coronation was a lot on people's minds, and I think a lot of people put, have something related to the fact that in England we have a new king now, which I wouldn't be against. I did mention recently in a video, I do think it's very likely the next Bond film could be called For His Majesty's Secret Service or For King and Country. And I wouldn't be shocked if some of the story relates to the fact that we've got a new monarchy and maybe something that is against monarchies or something. I don't know, but a lot of other people did put down about something to that. So yeah, maybe something related to the coronation for like the pre-title sequence could be an interesting idea. Bond battles lawyers and corporate conglomerations in an attempt to regain a 2-year film release cycle. Yes, that is Spectre's evil plot all along, to stop Bond coming out regularly. Now, I'm only just joking around here, but I think the guy brings up a valid point here. It would be nice to see Bond films after Bond 26 come on a regular release cycle. For me, I think it should be every 3 years, but again, that's just me. But lovely comment there, and I do agree with that. For Bond 26 and beyond, a more regular release cycle is needed. Bond 26 starts with a gun battle. We see Bond on a standalone mission in the pre-credit scene, and he is rescuing hostages from some bad guys, and then he saves a woman, and then she asks, "Thank you, Mr. Bond." James Bond. So a bit of a shout out to Jack here. Hi Jack. A lot of people, as I said, did put down a lot of like pre-title sequence ideas for Bond 26, and a lot of people put down like how they feel Bond 26 should introduce the new James Bond. And I did love Jack's idea about Bond rescuing hostages as a pre-title sequence, and then obviously killing the bad guys and ending with "My name's Bond, James Bond" going into the title sequence of the film. And I did like that. I thought it was a really nice, fun idea. So yeah, Jack, you got the award for that one. Things I want to see in Bond 26: a complete reboot, Aidan Turner's James Bond, bring back more humour, an older Q, preferably around the age of 55 to 60, a new car, Lotus, Steven Spielberg to direct, don't overuse MQ, Moneypenny and Tanner, and most importantly, don't let outside influences take over. Will Steaming Wizard, again, I think a lot of what you say I do agree with. I think a full reboot, yes. In Turner James Bond, I think would be fantastic. I don't agree with you have to have Q to be someone who's slightly older. Outside influences, Bond has been influenced by outside influences since Roger Moore started, so I don't think that's much of a issue really here. But let's bring up what you asked for direct. The GOAT of directing himself, Steven Spielberg, one of the, if not the greatest director of all time. He was potentially wanted to direct a Bond film, then they couldn't afford him after his most recent film. I don't think Steven Spielberg will ever direct a Bond film, but you know what? A man can dream. A man can absolutely dream. Well everyone, that's just some of the ideas that were put forward to me in that community tab, but I want to know, what are your thoughts about Bond 26? What do you hope to see in the episode? And if you like this sort of style where we go a bit more laid back and I put up a community tab about something in the Bond franchise and you can all have your comments and thoughts about it and I can read out a couple of them on the episodes. Did you like that? Do you want me to do it again? I want to know. Comment down below and tell me your thoughts and feelings about this. As always everyone, my name is Henry Stevens and I'm the Bond Geek. Goodbye.